What is going on? I am your man Shotty. If it is 9:30 on your motherfucking dial on your Instagram, then you know what fucking time it is. It is time for Minority News is Everything. If you're listening and you're learning and you're wondering what the fuck that new sound is, that is Billie Eilish's brand new song, because coming from the Democratic National Convention, in case you didn't know, for those motherfuckers who ain't paying attention, educational motherfuckers, okay, just joking. It is time for the Democratic National Convention. The last 3 days have been that, leading up to tonight, at the end being with the new vice president candidate, Miss Kamala Harris, and the one and only presumptive hopeful president nominee, hands-on Joe Biden. So, without further ado, we're going to get Joe in here. We're going to bring it to you. We're going to get right into it. Let's get started. Waiting for Joe to come in. Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
My guy, what's good?
Not much, bro. How you doing? I'm sitting here watching this convention, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm actually just getting in the crib right now. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, all right, work don't stop.
Don't stop. You know what I'm saying? I have to work, but then I have to go, chop it up with Mom Duke for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Always gotta do that.
Doing well. Hopefully she's doing well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Yes, sir. What's cracking though?
Not much, man. I'm sitting here watching this convention, and I love how Democrats can show how they're America the Beautiful for about a good 3 days. But that's just me. So, but we're just gonna get right into it. So, have you watched any of the convention besides tonight? Because you just told us you just came in. And what are your thoughts?
I actually think that they've been doing a pretty good job. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the party's at least a lot more diverse now than before. So I like what they did yesterday when they had, I think it was like 27 different people speak. You know what I'm saying? And each of them was from like a different type of background.
Yeah.
Highlighting, I guess, like the stars of the Democratic Party or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
I like that.
So I thought that was dope. And of course, you had the bombshell rocker. You know what I'm saying? Michelle Obama.
Oh yeah. They came out starting with haymakers.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? They came in like Tyson. They was trying to get knock him out in 10 seconds. You feel me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're gonna put somebody out there, you gotta put the former first lady who everybody still adores and loves out there. That makes sense.
Facts. You know what it is about her is the fact that she stated that she hates politics. You know what I'm saying? And that's what most people can relate to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it would be different if she said it and it wasn't sincere. You know what I'm saying? Like, she says it and it's like, yeah, but you were the first lady for 8 years. Like, what you mean you hate politics? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? While she was the first lady, she didn't really engage in politics too much. Like there's a difference between what up? Yes, sir. Shouts out to Sean on the check-in. I see DC Consulting Group on the check-in. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to them.
Yes, sir. Shouts them out.
Yes, sir. But like there's a difference when Bill Clinton was president, you saw Hillary Clinton was over there trying to implement laws and shit. Like she did the Child Health Care Act and all that shit.
Yeah.
And so if Hillary Clinton came out and was like, oh, I hate politics, people would be like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But her saying it is legit. You know what I'm saying? It's at least legit. You know what I mean? She wasn't out there trying to make policies or do all that. The only thing she really did was like the children's lunch, like children's fitness in schools and shit like that.
I mean, which is important. I mean, I think that was commendable because we needed that, because Lord knows, I don't know about you, but the school lunches was trash when I was in school. I don't know. Oh,
big time trash. You know what I'm saying?
Trash.
Big time trash. You know what I mean? They're feeding these kids garbage.
Yeah, for real.
Okay?
And I think
that was a little Boston accent right there. Garbage. You know what I'm
saying? just a little bit, kid. Just a little bit. So what are your thoughts besides Michelle? Did you watch last night? I know you said that you like the mix. Now again, I'm gonna ask you this because we go in on this. So I'm gonna ask,
Facts.
Why do you think? I mean, listen, I personally, because me and you know the tactics, this is cute. Like, bravo, Democratic National Committee. Good for you. You're making the Republicans the enemy. Whoop-de-doo. Now, I do like that they're kind of hitting them in different ways. Like, yo, go vote. Kind of taking them with I don't know if you didn't notice watch now, because I'm watching it while I'm talking to you. So they just had a a speech about a woman coming on about how her parents are still locked up and they had the ISO clinics for ICE and shit like that. So they're trying to hit him with all these avenues.
Facts.
Do you as a political science major, do you feel like this is working? Because to me, I'm like, this is nice. I'm glad you're showing a more well-rounded Democratic Party, but you guys should have done this in 2008, in 2012, in 2016, before it got to now, so you wouldn't have to worry about whether you got the vote or not now. So, right. But that's just me. But at the same time, we have to look at it from a scheme and a political standpoint. And is it really going to help that popularity vote for Biden, or is it just making more of a, okay, we have this stern base for us here, and we're going to try and get other people here?
On a political science tip, I do think that it works. You know, as you stated, you know, they should have done it in 08, 12, 16, you know, when we had a black president, you know what I'm saying? but what I think is important is the fact that they are doing this, like I always say, means that they know they need to be more accountable, you know what I'm saying, to these demographics. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, they've done a lot and enough of like showing prop, like, oh yeah, look, you know what I'm saying? We got the black voters, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we don't do shit for them type shit, you know what I'm saying? So you know, like I was even like, you know, I was watching the Fat Joe show, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, I love that show. I just got hip to that show, but I love that shit.
Facts. And he was talking to Charlemagne, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was asking Charlemagne about, you know, his line of questioning to Joe Biden when Joe Biden was on the Breakfast Club. And you know, and Charlemagne was stating the fact that he's like, you know, he's like, when black people want to force their hand, or essentially, you know what I'm saying, hold them accountable, like, hey, say some policies right now that you're going to implement for us specifically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's like, you know, you have the super left wing of the party, the Bernie Sanders wings, and all these other groups and demographics. You have the LGBTQ community, and he's making policy promises to them. And he's like, I want to hear strictly right now, specifically black, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Policy promises, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's like, shit, he's like, it's just a promise right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least do that. Like, at least hit us with the promise, so then, you know, they can have something to hold them accountable to. So, you know, I definitely agree, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you know, as I always say, they made him a candidate, you know what I'm
saying? They did. So, and he's got to pay it back. He's got to pay it back.
He's got to pay it back. And now is the time where I feel like we can really do that, you know what I'm saying? So my only thing is that you know, stay focused on the task, because he was like, he wants that out of him, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, when you look at the line of questioning, he starts off with, but you did the 88 crime bill, you did the 94 crime bill.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting to hear back on too, because I'm sitting here like, for me tonight, right? The biggest two things I'm waiting to see, I want to hear Kamala talk about all the BS and if she's gonna back it up. The other one I want to hear is, I want to hear this motherfucker talk about what he's going to do for our community. He has to understand his biggest thing about this is not the pandemic, it's not the state of America, it's the fact that if this man gets reelected, we are going to have a civil war without any hesitation.
Facts. And you know, like, it's a plethora of things. Civil war, you know what I'm saying? And even if there is a civil war, he can set up the justice system to be even worse for us than what it is now. You know what I'm saying? So if we have to defend ourselves in a civil war, nigga, we're dunzo. Dunzo.
Extremely dunzo.
So, you know, I feel like people don't really understand how bad it could actually be if the four wins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Facts. You know what I'm saying?
I really don't. It says super fucked if that happens. No better way to say it. Yeah, there's no better way to say that. It's just it's gonna be this, but you know what the thing is like, and maybe you can help me see this a little bit better. I think it's to the point now where, and this is not one of the questions on here, but I think it goes and coincides in what we're talking about right now. What do you think is going to be? How do I put this correctly? Because I want to make sure I say it in the right tone and in the right form, so it doesn't come off derogatory or whatever. Yeah. But why is it that he's got to, like, I think a lot of black people really, we need to stop focusing on what he and she did in the past.
Yeah, that was my point. Yeah.
Especially if we're talking about how we want a better future. And
Yeah.
we're always the ones that talk about how, yeah, but they don't do this, they don't do that. Like somebody on Twitter today, perfect example, right? Dude comes out like supreme, like, you know, black supremacist, this, that, and the third. And he's like, this is your president with Barack. I'm like, bro, not every person who gets to a pinnacle in this process of us raising ourselves and having this evolution is going to be there like that all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not, they're not going to just go in and open the floodgates. Sometimes you need one person to come in to do the next, And so I think one of the things that I'm starting to see on social media, maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on, is like, everybody's joking. Yeah, everybody's joking about so much crap about it. But at the end of the day, if none of us are voting, what the fuck do we have to complain about?
Then it doesn't matter. So there's so many things I want to say to that fact. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to bring it back and try to hit all points that I was just thinking about, right? Okay. So to go back to the point where you were asking me about the demographics and Democrats showing all these different people and that they should have done that before. You know what I'm saying? And you know, to me, this hits on can Joe Biden really win? You know what I'm saying? So here's why I think he can really win, because Joe Biden is not Hillary Clinton, right? So Joe Biden has a lot more support in the areas that Hillary Clinton lost, such as, you know what I'm saying, middle white suburbia in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. I always hit on those 3 states, but it's facts. You know
because they're always war states, especially in election time.
Swing states. And Joe Biden has support in those because he's seen more as an average Joe, you know, no pun intended. You know what I'm saying?
We'll say average for the show. I prefer hands-on, but we'll say average.
Hands-on. That's way better. That's way better.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about his
hands-on, like hands-on, like that. Yeah. Handsy Joe. Handsy Joe comes from a different era. You know what I'm saying? But like, and that's no excuse. But like, just to hit on the one point that you were saying, right? So when Fat Joe was interviewing Charlemagne, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was, you know, Charlemagne was bringing up what Joe Biden did in 98 and in 88 and 94. You know what I'm saying? And Fat Joe was like, he's like, nigga, like in 88, if you were to tell me I would be the Fat Joe that I am now, I would probably slap you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and again, that's not an excuse, but at the same time, it's like
people change.
20 years ago I was a different person. Obviously, I was an adolescent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, fucking. I think, and that was my whole point that I was bringing in as far as like staying focused. As far as like when Charlemagne was questioning him, it was like he never really specifically asked like for policy promises during the interview. You know what I'm saying? During the interview, he was focusing more on, well, you know, the 1988 and the 1994 crime bill, and you were attached to those, and how can we believe you type shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yes, hold him accountable for that, but more importantly, hold him accountable right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Thank you.
Right now, where we have the chance to hold them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I think that was kind of what I was trying to get at, because it's like it seems like every time we get somebody who's like, yo, I want to come and I want to sit with like, you know, urban culture, and I want to sit and try to express myself to this medium and to this outlet, and it seems like, we get them, but we vilify them as soon as we get them on. Like, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why did you do this? Instead of being like, hey, you have an opportunity in this country right now to make significant change and to do stuff that nobody's ever really seen before. And what are you going to bring to this community that has been hurting tremendously over? That's the questions I would have asked. And I think that's the way, if you're a black journalist in this country right now, you got to look at it that way, because it's really not about, now, if you know it's a dog, you can't take a bone out of a dog's mouth. A dog is a dog is a dog. But if you know the person is a diplomat, a respected congressman,
and one that you have leverage over, that's the big part. You have leverage over.
The biggest part, what they have leverage over.
You know, main things I would hit them on is, of course, criminal justice reform, and even bigger than that to me is economic reform. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm going to add more in that reform, educational reform.
Oh yeah, that's big time. That's big time. Yes. That's big time. But when I'm talking about specifically for like minority communities, black and brown, you know what I'm saying? Like those two things, you know what I'm saying, are big, because it's a known fact. There's a lot of studies that's been done. It's like you'll get if you don't get denied for a loan, you'll get a higher interest rate just based off your skin color. You know what I'm saying? That happens across the board. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, actions and practices like those have to stop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, people I feel like are like jaded from Barack Obama saying that he didn't do enough for black people. You know what I'm saying? Right? But then I'm talking to somebody else and I bring up T.I. Lloyd's of London proposal. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, no, like we don't want no handout. And I'm like, that's not a handout, and it's not even reparations. You know what I'm saying? He's actually trying to leverage something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To get some money out for y'all. I'm not sure if you're familiar with his proposal or whatever.
No,
you know
but elaborate on it a little bit more.
So T.I. has this proposal on change.org. You know what I'm saying? Where you can sign it if you agree or whatever. But essentially, he put Lloyd's of London on notice. I don't know if you know who Lloyd's of London is.
No, I do not.
So Lloyd's of London is a super ancient. Shouts to everybody checking. Shouts out Juice. Shouts out Azuz. You know what I'm saying?
Azuz is my old roommate Aziz. Talking out, showing in all the way from Saudi Arabia.
Hey, facts. Always love the international love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
So Lloyd's of London is an old school group, banking / insurance group from England. You know what I'm saying? And they actually funded and helped insure the Crusades over here to America. Hala, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they helped fund the slave ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
They helped fund the slave ships. So because of that, T.I. is like, this company made a lot of profits of slavery, so they should give.
They should have to pay us something back.
Yeah, right. So that's part one of his proposal. The second part of his proposal is the one that actually has teeth, in my opinion. You know
Okay.
Because they did that back then, but currently, right now to this day, they're actually the company, and they're in England, so this is wild, but they actually fully insure the NBA and the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Facts. So they're making money off the backs of all these players who are predominantly.
So let me get this straight. They stopped making money off us selling us on boats and started making money off us on TV. These niggas.
Facts. So
shit. Okay. Anyways, continue.
So,
by the way, while I'm giving you a pause, for those who are paying attention and for those who understand, we did tell you this is the convention show. We are in the convention right now. They are talking. They're getting ready to bring up Joe, but right now they're doing women in the movement. And Miss Email herself just popped on the motherfucking screen. Hillary Clinton herself.
Young Clinton. She's a wild one.
Bro, she looked like the chick. She looked like the mother in Get Out right now.
She probably was the mother in Get Out. You know what I'm saying?
Look.
Oh,
look.
shit. Yeah, she looks scary as fuck.
Look.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She looks terrible right now.
Oh, Hillary, man. I don't know, man. She's gotten such a bad rap that it's like it's irreparable at this point, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, why is she even speaking? Yo, and my whole thing is this. You couldn't give it to Karen Bass. You couldn't give it to Stacey Abrams. You couldn't give it to somebody else, like, for real? Like, you couldn't get you give it to the one woman who destroyed your chances of getting the White House back because she killed people. I'm like, yo,
I mean, I have a different perspective on why she lost. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's a lot of different perspectives on why she lost, but like the general thing is like she's the one that hurt the Democratic Party for a while.
Yeah.
Because she made it more about celebrity and popularity than the actual facts and the values, and she wasn't strategic with any of her moves at all. First of all, can anybody remember who the fuck was her running mate? Because I don't remember. I just know he's from Virginia and he looked like a kid. That's all I know.
I know him. It's Tim
Kaine. I was gonna say I don't know either. So
Tim Kaine, and that was a strategic move because Virginia was on the borderline, so they wanted to make sure that they got Virginia, and they did.
And they did, but they still lost because he couldn't hold his own in the elections.
Well, because he wasn't strong enough. There's a difference between like a Tim Kaine and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris boosted ticket.
She was gone.
Yeah, Tim Kaine is kind of just like, he was kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
He's a nice guy. He'll follow along. It was like, yo, we kind of knew he was a robot for her. Like, we kind of knew that was it.
Yeah.
He was a mistake picking Kane. That shit didn't help at all. Exactly. I agree.
No, I didn't have it all. I didn't have it all. You know, I wouldn't. I'm gonna go to, you know, I don't know if I explained this before, but like my difference between like Hillary and Bernie. I'll go into that real quick.
Okay.
And why the Democratic Party treated them differently. Which I'm probably just gonna go into that right now because I forgot my last point that I was talking.
All right, go ahead, break it down, brother. The floor is yours.
So the way I try to explain to people, all right, yes, the Democratic Party treated her unfairly, like they had her in favor unfairly against Bernie Sanders, right? There's a fact. We're not going to deny that, right? There's been proof.
Not at all. We all know that they robbed him,
right? So I'm not saying this is an excuse. I'm just trying to say this to put it into perspective, right? So it's like let's say you're the Democratic Party, right? Mm-hmm. And you have an aunt and an uncle. You know what I'm saying? You have an aunt who every birthday you have, she blesses you. You get that birthday card, guap in there. You know what I'm saying? You wanted a PlayStation 4, she got you that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No questions asked. Every time. You know what I'm saying? Then you have your uncle who, that's your man's. You know what I'm saying? Like he comes to your birthday, shit is mad fun. He turns up, you know what I'm saying? But you never get no bread. You never get no presents. You know what I'm saying? It's more just like, yeah, I love you, uncle. Like you my man. You know what I'm saying? But you would never depend on him.
Yeah, because he doesn't make you depend on him. He makes you work for it, and he comes to see where your development is every time he comes over.
I wouldn't even go that far. I would just say that he's
I wouldn't even want all of that.
Because I wouldn't say Bernie really does that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not true.
So I, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to explain to people, I'm like, of course they're going to skew shit in her favor because she's the money maker. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She brings the Democratic Party the funds. People criticize her for like doing the special fundraising and shit like that, but she's the one that she brings money to the party. And then you know what that does? That helps fund a Democrat running in Kentucky, a Democrat running in Wyoming, a Democrat running in California, Texas, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
So that money goes to them. So then it helps them win more seats across the board and makes them stronger as a team. Mm-hmm. Bernie is not even a Democrat. He's an independent. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So yeah, he votes with Democrats when it comes to voting, but when it comes to funding or fundraising or anything like that, he never helped. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing with Bernie was like, I agree with your ideas, but I just, as a political scientist, don't believe you'll be able to get it done because he just didn't have the political capital. You know what I'm saying?
And that's really what it comes down to sometimes. You know, they can have the best ideas, the best ideology, the best focus, and the best intent in mind, but if you can't bring them numbers up, then it doesn't matter.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, let's say he became president, you know what I'm saying, and he wants to do universal health care, or let's say, you know what I'm saying, free, you know what I'm saying, affordable college or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And in order for it to pass Congress, he needs a vote from that Democrat in Missouri who actually is in office, but he's in a majority Republican district. You know what I'm saying?
And you need that vote to swing it.
And you need that vote to swing it, and he's never did nothing for him ever before. You know what I'm saying? How is he going to expect to get that man's vote? He is gonna be damn near impossible. You know what I'm saying? So that was my whole thing with Bernie. It's like Hillary was the rich aunt. He's the cool uncle. You know what I'm saying? That's a super unpopular thing to say. I couldn't even like say that halfway without people being like, "You're in the bag for Hillary," and I'm like, "I'm not."
But it's not. You're not. You're just pointing out the differences. That's just really what it is.
I'm just trying to help people understand, like, this is a game that's being played. Even though you don't like the fact that it's a game, it still is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that, you know what I'm saying, that's my spiel on the Bernie and Hillary, just to try to help people understand, like, look, you know what I'm saying? Yes, what they did was wrong. Yeah. But you have to understand she's the rich aunt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real. So let's go into the next one because we got a couple more. We got a couple more questions to go through. So let me ask you, is a Biden-Harris, and so for all of you that joined in, what's going on? This is the great Joe Sabas. I go by the name of Shotty. This is Political Hip Hop, the convention edition for the Democratic National Party. We have been talking about watching the convention, the things that they're doing. I'm watching the convention right now. Hillary Clinton just finished her speech, and how about she endorsed Kamala Harris, and she praised Kamala and praised Biden, which we all know is a bunch of fucking bullshit. Even the reporter who they just put on first was like, "This is bullshit." She's laughing before she even finished the sentence. I'm sorry. I can comment on this show all day.
She,
So
she did look like she had that teacup under the camera.
Did she not look like the mom from Get Out? For real. But so my question to you is: now we know all these things. We know the uphill battle. We know what's coming. We know what we're probably going to get. We all know there's no presumptive anybody else besides these two. It's going to be these two on the ticket. Yes, do you think a Biden-Harris 2020 ticket can win this election? I will give the same question to everybody in the chat. Put your answer in now. Do you think a Biden-Harris 2020 candidate, 2020 ticket is going to win this election?
I'll say it like this. I have several monetary bets on this. So
well, they said I'm trying to come up. Shoot, yo, let me know who the bookie is, because if I know the numbers,
I got you. You know what I'm saying? I got you. I'll get you on the spread and all that. I'll let you know.
Let's get it.
Nah, but I do think that they could win it. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that, to break it down, you know, in the quickest political science way that I can, is just that the areas that Trump won that he wasn't supposed to win, he's not expected to win again this time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's different this time because those people took a chance. He hadn't been president before. Now he's been president for years.
And they're like, hell no, I don't want this shit no more. That was actually one of the things that they did this to begin here. So when I was getting ready to hit you up at 9, I started watching the convention. And at 9,
what channel are you watching it on, by the way?
Oh, I'm watching it on Hulu, but it's on it's on ABC.
ABC, yeah, I got you.
I mean, it's gonna take over the whole shit. We know that. Right. But when I was watching it, one of the biggest things that they did, which I thought was interesting, is they got like maybe 6, 7, 8 like lifelong Republican voters, and they're like, this election I will not be voting for Donald Trump, which I think is really interesting, because normally when we have this convention, you know this better than I do most of the time, but in the conventions, if memory serves me correctly, you don't bring out that kind of like, oh, this Republican's rocking with us until the convention and he's a guest speaker. He's like a Republican speaker. Whereas this time around, they were like, nah, we're going to give it to the people. And so they went and got like video FaceTime recordings from like 6, 7, 8 people, all old white people, all different descents. They're like, yo, I've been like this since the Reagan era. I've been like this since that. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're like, I can't do this no more.
That's a perfect point you just said right there. So Ronald Reagan in the 80s, you know, he's like the Republican idol. You know what I'm saying? There was a thing called Reagan Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Because Ronald Reagan he was a Republican, but he was still more towards the center. You know what I'm saying? As fucked up as his policies were and shit like that, he was an actor from Hollywood, literally. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he was a little more liberal than your regular conservative. You know what I'm saying? So you had a lot of Democrats swing and vote for him, even though they were Democrats. Now they're calling the Joe Biden Republicans. You know what I'm saying? Reagan Democrats, Biden Republicans. You know what I'm saying? That's another reason why I think he's going to win. In states like Ohio, with John Kasich, who used to be the governor, he's a Republican, and he spoke. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ohio is probably going to go for Biden too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you have those people that would rather have a Biden than this fucking nut job that we have right now. You know what I'm saying?
I think the other thing too with Biden is, right, and I hate to say it, and it might be weird, but like, he may be the safer of the two bets, but I want to go back now. I want a president that is going to do what he says and actually help this country. However, I do want somebody at this point that can go and mend some of these fences. Like our NATO connections are absolutely abysmal right now. Nations don't want to.
That's dangerous.
Like we're literally so exposed right now. It's not even funny.
Yo, real quick. I don't know if people know this, but this is an actual fact right now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We're banned from, I think, all but about 5 countries. In the world because of coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? But because our coronavirus shit has been so mishandled and out of control, majority of the countries, as an American, you can't even go into right now. Just like we have a Muslim ban here, they have an American ban. Like
when has that ever been the case in the history of the country, of the world?
Never.
Are on a ban.
Never. Like, you know, there was this reporter dude talking. He's from Germany. He was like he has dual citizen, so he has German passport and American passport. And he was talking about how when traveling to different countries recently, he had to use his German passport because his American passport was no good. And when he was a kid, that's all he wanted was an American passport because you could go anywhere with that. You know what I'm saying?
It
Now
was
it's the
your
opposite.
golden gate. It was your ticket anywhere.
It's your golden ticket. Facts, big facts. You know what I'm saying? So that's not gonna last forever, but it is happening right now. Like niggas is banned. You know what I'm saying? Banned from TV. Noriega. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's an old school term. You know, that's old
It's
school
gonna
reference.
take 4 years. So the great Sean T. Wally writes, gonna take 4 years of unfucking red tape issues to try O has done. If Joe takes the crown in November, he will run 4 to 8 years and then hand it off to the redhead Kennedy. Yo, he loves the redhead Kennedy. You know what the funny thing is? It's like local people here in the state, they hate him. They want Markey. They love Markey.
Really?
Yeah, Markey's like, Markey's like a hometown hero here. And like Kennedy here is like, this motherfucker's just getting in because of his name. Now, I think he's a great politician. I think he's a good example of the up-and-coming stars in the Democratic Party. However, they're not wrong about this motherfucker because he is royalty up here. Kennedy's name is like gold up here.
So I was in Rhode Island when the whole presidential shit was starting, and I went to Lawrence, Massachusetts. You know what I'm saying? To see Elizabeth Warren do her campaign kickoff. You know what I'm saying? Man is a national treasure. Look, that's facts. So Sean has a point. So I saw young Kennedy, you know what I'm saying, speak at her thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reaction from the crowd was different from everybody else that was speaking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how he's hated over there, as you state, you know what I'm saying, or how he's not as liked, because I'm not that familiar with the political scene on the ground there, as you are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But on the national stage, eventually, I think, you know what I'm saying, he could be a good look, you know what I'm saying? Or this could all go to shit, right? And my one man's political theory, political conspiracy theory was that England was going to take us over anyway, and that was the plan. And if you look at it, Prince Harry denounced his shit and came over here. So he's already here. You know what I'm saying? If Trump wins again and the world is like, yeah, we can't have this shit no more. And then British is like, you know what, we're just going to take y'all niggas over again because y'all don't even know what the fuck y'all doing right now. Y'all fucking up.
Harry's already here. They already infiltrated.
That's what I'm saying. He's already here. The Trojan,
they're like, we
Trojan
gonna get
horse.
this shit back, nigga. We lost that last one. We gonna get this one.
We gave y'all 200, 300 years. Y'all cool. We gonna take y'all back.
Sucked at it. Now it's time for us to wrap that shit back.
Bring that back here. Bring that
back
be like
here,
DC,
boy.
Yeah, DC Young Fly. Bring that ass here, boy.
For real. All right, so we went really well with this. So we got two more questions, and this is when we switch over to the hip hop segment. For those of you that don't know, we had to make sure that we got all of the footage that we needed. But starting this weekend, we will be on Restream, and I'll send the links to everybody on there. But we needed to make sure that the video was correct, the footage was correct, the volume was correct, because we want to make sure that we get you guys this stuff and this news as soon as possible. The best of love. So, is hip hop still hip hop, or do we now have to give it subgenres?
I definitely think we have to give it subgenres, and I think, as fucked up as it is to say, hip hop itself is now a subgenre. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's essentially pop music now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so I was about to ask you: has hip hop music sold out, or is it? Because one of the things that I was talking to you about is I'm releasing the album as a pop album, not releasing it as a hip hop album. Because one of the reasons why I'm doing that is because this market is so saturated and everybody sounds the same. And if you're supposed to be in that lane, then you're not going to be looked at as the way you should be. Now, if I sell it as a pop album and I make my music popular music, then you can sit there and be like, oh, well, he's hip hop, but it doesn't matter. I'm in the conversation. So my question is, has hip hop as an art form sold out?
I would say that it's been pimped for sure. It's been pimped out. It's been pimped out.
Shout out to Kendrick.
Facts, to Pimp a Butterfly. And I would also say that I've heard some of your tracks. I don't know. They sounded very hip hop. Sounded, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't say that. I wouldn't call it pop necessarily, unless you have some other stuff that I haven't heard.
Oh yeah, I got a whole bunch of other stuff on there, bro.
Facts. I mean, the one joint that I heard, you know what I'm saying, was more. I could see, you know what I'm saying, more like in the commercial, quote unquote commercial lane. Yeah. But to me, it still has the essence.
Yeah, but that's my thing. Like, I always am going to have that essence of hip hop in there. But I think the reality is, just looking at it, I think one of the things that I'm looking at it from a businessman standpoint and the musician standpoint now is I did the research the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to different people. I saw different things. I worked with different artists and stuff like that. And so what I learned is, if I was in a crowd, in a mixed crowd that had more people that were open to all kinds of music, my music flourished. Whereas if it was just a place that wanted hip hop, they want the same knockoff A Boogie shit everywhere. And it's like, at that point, I had to make a decision for my career. It's like, do I go over here and branch out to do other subgenres and do my hip hop thing and still have the core there, but I sell it as a pop album? Or do I have to come over here and deal with a whole bunch of A Boogie with the hoodie knockoffs that really aren't good?
Yeah. It's so funny that you use A Boogie. That's crazy that he's made it to that level.
Bro, they all use the same sample the kid uses. That's the only reason why I'm like not happy with it up here. It's like, bro, I understand if like you want to do your thing. I'm never going to disrespect another man for wanting to do his music and for expressing himself. What I am going to dog you on is sounding like the next nigga.
Exactly,
you are literally sounding like, bro. If you're all trying to get out of here, you can't sound like everybody. Get out of here.
That's one of the most anti-hip hop things, but for some reason it seems to happen all over the place now. You know what I'm saying? Before, during the golden era, that was like
you could not do that. You could not do it, and if you did, they were gonna make you a diss track, and your career was over.
That was it. That was it. You were done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you non-originalized, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mentioned Fat Joe Show, but I was also watching Drink Champs recently too, and they were just talking about. I was watching the episode they had Biggs on. Biggs was the one that started Rockefeller with Jay-Z and Dame Dash.
Yeah. Big, yo, they got that man out the woods because you know Big don't come out for nobody.
Right.
He don't come out for nobody.
His artist St. John. I don't know if you heard St. John music, but his shit is pretty dope. You know what I'm saying?
I've heard St. John. He's nice.
Yeah. His shit is pretty dope. But they were talking about the Jay-Z versus DMX battle back in the day, before they were like big time and all that shit.
Wait, are we talking about the ones in the corner at the street at the pool table? Or are we talking about the big one? Because we know there's you and I both know there's a couple of them shits that happen.
Facts. Nah, the pool table. I'm talking about the pool table. That was one they were talking about.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, they were talking about that, and then they were talking about other battles, as you were saying, and they were talking about another battle where DMX battled this dude named K Solo. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I remember there was always this thing. There was a dude named K Solo. And I'm like, who the fuck is K Solo? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he actually popped on a more commercial stream, like in the early 90s, before DMX was on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So K Solo used to say that DMX stole my style, because they do sound very similar. But then I heard the story on Drink Champs that they actually used to battle, and DMX said K Solo took his style. He just happened to get a deal first. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just bringing that back to the whole originality thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? As you can see, nobody knows who the fuck K Solo is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because DMX blew that fool out the water.
Yeah.
Big time. You know what I'm saying?
But that was like my biggest thing. It's like, I think that was the other thing that I was kind of like, and I hate to say it, but I was like, if I stay in this hip hop room, I'm going to lose my originality. I'm going to lose the essence of just being a good musician making music. Because to me, nowadays, hip hop is not about making good music. It's not about making good records. It's about, does it bump? And honestly, that is something to me that is just like, that's lazy. That's lazy. We used to find knowledge, information, how to guide yourself through life through albums. Now we got a bunch of mixtapes being sold as albums. And I'm like, that's where I'm kind of like, I got to go this way, because this shit, it looks like, it really looks like, it's sad to say, but it's like, you know, when someone gives you the out in your company, and it's like, you've been working at this company for a long time, you've been doing this, it's like, bro, let's go to lunch real quick. Let me holler at you real quick. Get the fuck out of here. So they're going down. And so when I look at hip hop and I try to stress it to my friends, I say that to say this to them: get the fuck out. It's going down. Like,
facts. The world needs more Q-tip. And I was actually gonna comment on your last comment, Sean, where you said can't let nobody with that name near water or anything dangerous, because that family is straight up unlucky. Facts. And he was talking about the Kennedy family and Kennedy curse, and even someone recently, one of the Kennedys fucking was found.
Yeah, honestly, I can't even front. Like I told Sean, I hope he does it just to break the curse. I hope the ticket is him and AOC, because that would make this whole world go crazy.
Her boyfriend's already a redheaded dude. Her boyfriend's already a redheaded dude. You know what I'm saying? I think that's Sean. I think her boyfriend's Sean's cousin. I think AOC boyfriend. Sean, that's your cousin, man. You ain't letting us know.
He not telling us he got connects like that.
Nah, but real quick to circle back to your point about originality in hip hop. I definitely think you should go your own lane. You know, when I have my studio stuff out here in Atlanta before, you know what I'm saying? The name of it of the studio and of the company was called Original Signature Sounds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing is that I was trying to help develop artists because, especially at that time, the game was changing and essentially the A&R role was taken out. You know what I'm saying? It was diminished. They're like, oh yeah, we don't need A&Rs. We can just look online and see what's popping and just pick those. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think I told you I was recently on some what's that, Zoom. I was on some Zoom calls and stuff like that with like A&Rs in the game right now. And they're talking about they're having to go back to the gut. They can't just focus on digital numbers anymore because that's not the whole story. You know what I'm saying? And what my whole point with Original Signature Sounds was to help develop the artists. I feel like that's the part that's missing. Everybody expects the artists to just develop themselves by themselves and use all their resources. And it takes a team. You know what I'm saying? It takes a team.
Absolutely.
So my whole thing is like, listen, when you get on a track by yourself, especially if it's a collabo track, or if you're doing a drop for a DJ or for whoever, you know what I'm saying? As soon as they hear the first word come out of your mouth, they should know that's you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You should have your own distinct sound. You should have your own distinct vibe when you get on anything. You know what I'm saying? And you should have that because that's what's going to bring you value. And that's why you should do exactly what you're doing, like you said, and just stay as yourself, stay in your own lane. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that kill me that a lot of industry people ask, and like when I was talking to you the one night, I was asking you a lot of like standard questions that like whatever A&Rs and managers were asking. Like, if you had to pick an artist that you most closely resembles you, who would you pick? You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. They ask you that, and then you're comparing yourself to somebody, but then they'll turn around and be like, but you have to be original. And you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So it's like, don't put me in a box where it's like you expect me to sound like somebody and then also expect me to sound original. You know what I'm saying? Everybody always takes creativity from somebody. Like you have your influences that's going to be evident in your music. But when you do it enough and you cut enough tracks, you know what I'm saying? Your own shit is going to come out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think the other thing too is with those A&Rs that I would also say too is, you know, development is so key because everybody, like, I think when I see that, they don't care about development. They care about the money. And we understand that that's the case. But like you were saying, they need to get back to that because if you look at like the artists that created labels that took that old approach, it's working because Dreamville is exactly that. It's literally that.
Dreamville is an exception. So Dreamville is an exception. Them fools are.
But you know, we need to do the same thing with Top Dog too. You know what I'm saying? Like Top Dog Entertainment is really like they got the attention of Aftermath and Backing Money because they were like, yo, we got all four of these guys that are just weird. All different ways, all different entities, but they're fire. Facts. The interesting thing is
even if you look at the evolution of Schoolboy Q, my fault, sir.
For real, no, but I just saw Schoolboy Q on a PGA a PGA commercial for PGA 21. I'm like, Schoolboy? I'm like, wow, this is great.
His evolution's been amazing.
But you know what the thing is though, Top invested in that. He invested in J-Rock. He went and got him from Strange Music and brought him over because he saw the potential. And so one of the things that I hate with a lot of people here is look at the kids' work. Look at what they're doing. And if you see the evolution and development, that should tell you who it is. Because to me now, it's like you're not doing your work. Just like I have that argument up here because I'm not going to lie to you. My manager didn't tell me you shut the fuck up this week because I be getting into it with journalists and shit up here, well, fake journalists, because they want to sit here and say that we support everybody and we're all about originality and shit. And
you were speaking on that last time.
And I asked you the questions that a real journalist would ask, and you're like, oh, no, I'm saying, oh, when you see me, see me. Nigga, that kind of bullshit is that? I'm younger than you. Well, which one of us is a grown-ass man at that point? It was even to the point, I'll tell you this, it was even to the point, I went on the messenger and said, hey, I would not like to have this discussion over message. If you would like to meet in public, have lunch, have dinner, I'd be happy to listen to you man to man, sit down and discuss our issues like grown men. No,
People are
see
scary.
me.
People are scary.
Bro, like, when you see me, see me. Bro, first of all, you're not a journalist. Second of all, that's just terrible because anybody I know, if they wanted to take the story and make the full story, you can do it right there.
That's way better. That's way better. If you about it, if you really about it, you know what I'm saying?
But that's only my point. I know journalists that'll be like, yo, time, place, tonight. They bout so like, what are you really a journalist or are you a knockoff? Because that's really my argument here. It's like, I don't want no knockoff shit if that's what
you an A-Bookie knockoff. Facts. No, I can take it. That's facts. That's true. But there's a lot of figures in front of the game. You know, even like being here in Atlanta so long and then being on the scene before when I was, you know what I'm saying? And I know it's still the same right now, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of, you know what I'm saying, people claiming this and claiming that, claiming to be journalists or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? And they're really not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it
really is. Because it's like, yo, like, just because you and your boys are bored and have friends doesn't mean you can make a podcast that's successful. I'm sorry. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we're on episode 30 tonight, which we made it to 30 episodes. But what my other thing too is like, I'm not expecting major numbers every night when we come on.
Yeah.
I'm expecting, hopefully, every time when I go on there though, and I see it the next day after a day or two, and I see 112 views, 150 views, 145 views, it's doing what it's doing what it's supposed to do. And my whole thing is like, we're trying to get a lot of journalists in the Northeast are like, yo, I need to get this attention here because if I give them attention and they blow, they're going to look back at me and then this is going to be great and this, that, and that. It's like, nah, bro. And the other thing that I really like that you were talking about development is like, essentially in a weird way, like God has brought me a team. Like I wouldn't say they're a team, but like I ask you a lot of questions. I lean on you for advice. I got another buddy who was in a band for 10 plus years that toured around. That is like really helpful in like the production and the development of what I'm doing. I got a guy who I've been with since the first album.
The sound is good too, by the way.
You know what I mean? Thank you, man. So like that's what we were like trying to like really get cohesively. He said the real epidemic is fake ballers at the moment. Nothing wrong with staying in your lane. Just be you. Hell yeah. I know Sean's saying that for a couple of people. But
no, that's fact. That's fact. Like there was that big issue with this artist that Meek Mill signed and Blueface. I don't know if you saw that.
Meek signed Blueface?
No. Hell no.
Oh,
no,
I was about to be like, nigga.
No. I would be hella upset if he did that. I would be hella upset. No, Meek signed this dude from Louisiana, from Nowland, from New Orleans.
Okay,
you know more like a grittier rapper, you know what I'm saying? Talk about more street.
Somebody from his alley. Somebody from his car.
Facts. So him and Blueface, for whatever reason, called him out like, "Oh, you signed a Dream Chaser, nigga? What the fuck you chain at?" Almost like the J. Cole like thing, like
where you
chain at? Like it was that direct example, like in real life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the dude from Dream Chasers, he's like, the fuck you talking about? He's like, I'm not wearing my chain. He's like, 'cause I don't want to wear it. And he was like, the money that I got from my advance from Meek Mill, he's like, nigga, I brought my mom's a crib. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I didn't spend it on any extra chains. Yep. He's like, and Blueface was like, no, but you have to understand, to be a rapper, it's not even about rapping good anymore. You just have to be cool. Of course, Blueface would say that because that's his whole fucking gimmick and MO. You know what I'm saying? That he's not a good rapper, but he's cool. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's funny with what Sean's saying with the fake ballers and stuff, because they're trying to be Blueface. They're trying to be that lane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, they're calling Sean, trying to get some jewelry.
And can't even pay for their fucking jewelry, and then you have to ask for an advance back on them. But we just saying.
And then Sean's showing me a whole bunch of chains. I was like, yeah, I had this made, but the guy never finished making payments. I have this chain, but the guy never finished making payments. You know what I'm saying?
I love how these guys be flexing, but they can't make payments to keep the ice. Ain't that crazy?
Facts.
He doesn't even fuck with the ice. He has talked about it a great deal. Blueface, half his shit is Fugazi. Know for a fact from friends of mine who've done his ice.
I believe it.
It's such a, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a flash. So, you know, we got to wrap it up because we did go a little bit longer tonight, but I need you to answer this last one. The floor is yours for this. Is there a correlation?
Oh, yes.
Between hip hop and politics? My man, the floor is yours.
I would say yes, absolutely. There's a big correlation between hip hop and politics. I would say I started liking politics even more because of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You know, there was a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I remember Rough Riders Volume 3. I was young as hell, and Jadakiss said Bush is the. Oh no, it was Method Man. He said Bush is the president, nigga. We all fucked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just little lines like that got me a lot more interested just in politics in general. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, why did Method Man say that? You know what I'm saying? And it's just a simple line that I feel like rappers could draw people in. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest, most recent examples that I would say why hip hop and politics are merged is, you know, Cardi B interviewing Joe Biden on her show.
Yeah, that was great. That was really good for her.
I think that was great.
And for him, too. It was major for him.
Oh, major, more major for him, I would say. You know what I'm saying?
For real, because Cardi's the hottest thing on the planet right now.
You know what I'm saying? And it's more major for him because she's a big Bernie fan. She's interviewed Bernie many times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she loves Bernie.
So that's one of my other reasons that I think he's going to win, because Bernie is out here. Bernie's doing to me what he should have done in 2016, which is leverage the current candidate to bring the policies he wants. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I just think Joe Biden is a little more malleable, where Joe Biden will make these promises with Bernie. Hillary wasn't doing all that. Hillary's probably like, you going to do this shit for me, or what the fuck you going to... She probably like, you going to bend over and I'm going to fuck you type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, those two had beef. Like, him and Hillary, it was just always this.
Yeah, it still is to this day, right? So.
Oh, yeah, of course. That beef ain't going nowhere. Those two will go to the grave not liking each other.
Facts. So with Biden, he's even said himself he's a transitional candidate. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be him just as a placeholder, just to get Trump the fuck out of there. And then the more progressive wing is not going to step in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why it's a good move, and that's why I think progressives should back him. But that goes into the fact of Cardi interviewing Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Facts to what Sean just says as far as Bernie's campaigning for Secretary of Education.
Smart move.
Because then he actually gets done one of his biggest policies, which please cancel all my student loans. You right now, existence. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I froze right there for a second. But yeah, so just to answer the question, hip hop and politics to me, in my perspective, if I would like to say they're married, if you don't want to go that far, then I would say that you're really connected. Man. You good. You know, so my answer to your question is essentially just a simple yes, like all caps with a period. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop and politics are definitely together. Like there's no denying it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Well, with that being the case, I'm glad you brought up Fat Joe, because I wanted to bring up that today is Fat Joe's birthday. So happy birthday, Fat Joe.
Thanks.
Also, I want to let you guys know that this man has a podcast, and he is going to tell you right now where that podcast is, where you can get it. So you can not only support him on here, but also support my man on his podcast. Let him know.
Yes, sir. I always appreciate that, my brother. And the podcast is called WRR Podcast. You can find it with WRR_podcast. You can find it on SoundCloud. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Stitcher. You can find it on Anchor. You can find it on several different platforms. You can just go to my Instagram page, which is Joe_SAPES. That's my
Sorry, no, you go ahead.
You good. So that's my personal Instagram page. And then the podcast Instagram page is WRR_podcast. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out to that. I actually had a good, I had a connection the other day on my podcast IG page with my own girl that I told you works for Stacey Abrams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So definitely follow me on that page. Things just happen sometimes. I don't even like my social media game right now is trash. I'm gonna keep 1,000. My social media game right now is trash. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? That's gonna come together at any certain point. But if you follow me at any time, something can happen. You just never know. You know what I'm saying?
True. So to get on one last comment, you were like, the artists need that like one thing that's going to get them. I'm about to send you a song. I got you.
Okay.
When you say like you need that one thing that's going to hit America and be like, yo, what is going on?
Okay.
I got a record I just finished. I'm going to send you. But ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of Shadi. This is the Great Joe Sabas. You already know what it is. Every Wednesday night here, Political Hip Hop, the convention edition. We will be back next week. Like I always tell you, sometimes God doesn't make you go out of things. He makes you go through them. And I love what he's making me go through because I turned into a hell of a man. So take care. God bless. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace.